The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
Come down, then we show the way we ready. Come down, come to show.
Come down. I thought a key to octave or 8 too high there.
I might say or 8, you know.
Octave or 8, yeah. Now, it is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the true Nation Station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do, alright? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us. That take a whole new meaning now.
Hey.
And we are not just talking about the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, the Taínos and the Calanagos, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and the same will be chess, the Columbus line, but also to our brother in music, Tony P, where the P this week stands for
passing the battle, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just kick this off straight off the bat. We are live in studio, guys.
That's right.
So if you want to get interactive with us today, you can give us a call, 652-4901 or 1786-2922-789. Yeah, we're here live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time, well, second time I'm here.
Yeah.
But the first time you here, so
Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
What at what point in the year do we stop saying Happy New Year?
I will probably say it until about March.
March?
I mean,
very long.
We have some people I wouldn't see until then.
Oh, okay.
Just the way it go, you know.
Yeah, life in these days, you know.
Life been life.
Right. And if you don't know the voices you all are listening to, this is yours truly, Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code, and I sit here alongside my Berber with no fro, a lot of flow, always on the go and in the know.
Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage.
And we want to say a special good evening to everybody locked on YouTube, locked on the dial 90.1 FM.
That's right.
Locked on Facebook, WACK.tv. There are so many ways. You have no excuse not to be locked on to the True Nation station.
That is a fact.
Yeah. And as we're talking about being locked on to the True Nation station, right? This was the first time ever in my short life, my 21 years of life, right?
20, right.
Yeah, 21
so
years, yeah.
We start in the year like that.
Yeah, we started the year back with that.
Okay.
In my 21 years of life that I spent Christmas away from my family. Right? And during my Christmas vacation, Joshua would have attempted his world record.
Yes.
Right?
He would have.
And so I was tuned in while I was at home, where I was staying. I was tuned in, always on my phone. And the first stark difference I realized between here and where I was that YouTube was a background app there.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I could be doing whatever on my phone and still watching Joshua play. Right? So anyhow, and when I think I can't remember where I went, but a lady at the venue that I went to, I think we went out for food or something, I hear him pan in the background. And I'm like, well, me listening to I do have data. So lo and behold, somebody is in a restaurant there watching Joshua.
That is amazing.
Right? And then the lady turns and realizes, see me walking past, and she's like, but how Joshua doing that world record and you here? I'm like, excuse?
So is your cousin then?
I didn't know who this woman
Yeah,
is.
no, it was.
I don't know who this woman is.
You just tell these stories and then it turned out to be real and thing.
Nah. And then the woman was like, yeah, I think I just follow Joshua and I know you use Joshua DJ. I was like, yeah. She's like, so how you doing now with record on here? I was like, on vacation. She's like, I was like, and well, it have rules and stuff like that. And Joshua just making a playlist and going with the playlist and stuff like that. So she's like, nah, but there's a big thing he doing, boy. The pan man pursuing a world record on we national instrument. And in the back of my mind, I was like, you don't live here though.
Wait, whoa.
That was the first thought in my mind, like, you don't live Trinidad though. How is we national instrument?
Whoa. Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that here.
And I realized after, it's cool, that happens from time to time. And then she was like, you know, I really like pan. And thereafter, I was introduced to a community of Trinidadians.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because according to you, they don't live here, so.
Well, whoever had the Trini roots and all these different things, even though they were far removed, as in they probably didn't live here for 20, 30 years, some of them, they were heavily invested in the culture.
Are you trying to upset our listeners?
No, I'm not trying to upset the listeners, but for me, this is the first time I ever went out of Trinidad and Tobago and met a group of Trinis that were so invested in our culture.
Alright.
And not just, it was carnival in Miami. So, yeah, I like the soca. This woman went on to tell me she has been watching from since 4 o'clock in the morning. And this was about 9 o'clock the night, and she's like, she has not put down her phone yet. And then my mind's like, wait, you doing better than me though?
Yeah.
Because I think I wake up like 7 o'clock and then I tune in.
Yeah, when I got up, he was already playing for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I shared a link on Facebook, and then I keep refreshing the link whenever we encountered any technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want people to just rewatch
A old one.
Yeah. But yeah, I had it running in the background for the majority of the day. A lot of the support that came through, you know, it was refreshing to see.
Yeah.
There were artists. We saw a couple wackos. A couple of the hype men came through.
Yeah.
And I could just imagine what a technical nightmare it probably was.
Yeah, Kenny gave me some of the stories on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And I know Kenny like a story.
Yeah. You know, his stories always have a little bit of truth plus now.
But from what I understood, none of it was truth plus.
Wow.
Because Miss Phillips also corroborated the stories. So
yeah,
it had no plus. It was
no
just truth.
hyperbole and
Yeah, he was actually telling the truth holistically for once.
Well, I'm not going so far.
No, the man, he's embellished a lot.
Yeah, embellished.
Remember Kenny said he won road matches, you know.
Hey,
When is really won road match?
who looking for this man to call?
Honestly, he messaged me just now and tell me about. I don't know why talking about. He was he talking about he won more than one road match. But to my knowledge, I think Kenny won one and almost won the next one.
I think right now I understand what foul and cockroach, what that statement mean. Cockroach and foul party.
I didn't even have a road match or even a road or a match.
Yeah. I was only saying in church.
But honestly, as I was alluding to before, to hear persons in, I just say it in Louisiana, locked on and listening and following Joshua during that attempt, it was really great to know that the support it wasn't just the people here. Like, you know, it had people who, the loyal WACK listeners, but to know it had persons who just saw what was going on social media and decided to make a thing out of it, make a view and lime out of it. I didn't eat none of the food in the lime, but
Yeah.
I couldn't.
The way you talk, I say it's Tobago you went to.
No, brother, man. Right. That was really great. And the second thing I wanted to talk about before we get on into discussing the passing the battle aspect and stuff like that. One thing that I did on this vacation, I posted about it on Instagram today, was I went on a tour of one of the slave houses. right? Like the slave quarters and the plantation house, right?
Right.
It was called Oak Alley in Louisiana, more New Orleans, Louisiana. It gave me, like, I was always big on history, right? Because I read a lot and I'll watch the podcasts and the stories on YouTube and stuff like that. And some of the movies and of the depictions and things like that. But to actually walk on a site where slaves would have, I don't want to say plied their trade, but where slaves would have...
It wasn't exactly a trade.
It wasn't a trade per se, but where slaves would have been, what would have endured the task, right? And then to see what the slave masters' quarters were compared to what the slaves' quarters were. Then you see in the tasks, how they were set up for the slaves to perform. It gave me, like, watching a movie or reading a book and then seeing it in person. It makes things, it puts things into scale, it puts things into perspective that it was nice. Imagine you and the entire family in a 10x8 shack. Obviously, a lot of the sites were redone. So they may be a little, they're looking a little nicer now than probably what they would have looked like in 18 something. But to see the size of it, to know that a family of 5 would have been, if you've ever been into WACK Studios and saw the studio that we're in now, a family of 5 in this room. No running water. No toilet facilities. And that is where they're living. And then they'll go out and give the best in the fields or in the house. It really put into perspective, because one thing, I know you are a well-read individual, Ricardo, and I'm 100% sure that if you read something as opposed to you going to the site and seeing it for yourself, it puts things in a different perspective. It gives things a different context. Because now you could say, hey, I see that and I know what that is.
Yeah. I mean, like, plain talk bad manners, you could look at a menu and then you could bite a burger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. I
That's
get
all
it.
about burger, right?
No, but it's at a pull.
Yeah, but I'm hungry.
Yeah. I know being in spaces like that, they do move you.
Yeah.
They add some perspective. And yeah, you're right. We don't even have to go so far as Louisiana. You know, there are people in Trinidad and Tobago who live in some conditions that deplorable.
Yeah, correct.
Right. Literally every time rainfall, and it has been falling the past couple nights and days. I think we get a little ease up today. But every time rain start to bust down, I will start to pray for people who not wrap up in 2 blankets and could switch off the AC or turn off the fan.
Yeah. You know, one thing I would add to that, I be on the road a lot, so traversing the Southland, like, oh gosh, come on, traversing the South, like heading further south.
You go ahead. So
like
you
passing through Woodland, or you're going through Davie, right? There's one big river. I don't know the name of it.
Which one it is?
Yeah, which one it is, right? But anytime rain falls,
I go, you know?
probably is the one that, I think it leads to the one that's draining out on the creek.
I think that you go, you know?
Right? Every time rain falls, normally that river is about 10-12 feet below road level. But once a light rain fall, it's about 2 or 3 feet below. And I always wonder, but no such a rainfall here.
Yeah.
So how it reach up to 2-3 feet below? But then you had to take into consideration rain falling upriver and then coming down.
That's right.
So the people who upriver may not have that level of security on the banks of the river that it would have where it have a bridge and then no residential areas around it.
Yeah.
So we really had to, one, be thankful if you live in an area that is not flood prone, and 2, for areas that are and flooding does occur, how can you help?
Yeah.
And one way you can't help, even if you don't live in a floodplain area, is stop littering. Because the amount of garbage you see in a drain on the side of the road, and when it's in the drain on the side of the road, I mean, it's going to wash down into a river at some point.
Trinidad special, you know. I love my country. I've learned to love my country. That don't mean I don't want better for them. People dumping, littering is one thing, but people dumping loads of trash on any corner or semi-vacant property.
You see when we drive down Lower Hillside just now? You see the first corner on the left-hand side, how much garbage was on that corner?
I didn't notice it, too.
Exactly. Because most times we just drive past it and ain't even taking it on.
Right.
But there are a lot of areas where it have garbage, well, dumpsters, we'll call it a dumpster. And the garbage, instead of being in the dumpster, is on the side. And in no way am I knocking any corporation or regional corp, city corp or regional corp here.
Fair.
But we need more regular schedules for pickup of those kind of things. Because if I don't have a bin, I go in by the skip, if you want to call it a garbage skip.
The closest community
bin, thank you, to put my refuse in. But when the refuse full, I'm not going to take it back home to leave it by me and just rest it gently on the side.
Yeah. But I mean, we still have to consider that's still on a personal level. Right? We have people who dumping rubbish from the business places and the farms and that kind of thing. And we really had to do better. It would be so amazing if we had like some kind of, I don't know, solid waste management company or something like that. You know? It would be really nice if we had something like that.
Solid waste company management limited. Sounds familiar.
Very good, guy.
It really does sound familiar. The name sounds familiar.
Well, Mr. Williams.
Yeah.
It's a new year, man.
Nah. Yeah, the new year started yesterday, yeah.
You want to say the new year started yesterday?
Yeah, it started yesterday.
Term started yesterday?
No, the new year started yesterday. Because mentally, I couldn't start the new year in the middle of the week.
Yeah. It was... I still trying to process that the first day of school was the 6th, you know.
Yeah, no, the first day of school is like the 3rd or the 4th.
Today's Lana's birthday, you know.
Serious?
Yeah.
Message Lana.
Happy birthday, Lana. And happy birthday, Denise, my cousin of the cheese space.
Cousin of the cheese space?
Yeah, Denise cheese space is something else. Okay. That's sweet bread too.
Serious? She never sent for us though.
I nearly get
But she never sent for me.
Actually, pretty much anything Denise made us taste good. I nearly get
It's so sweet, bro.
During SOE, I nearly get 1,000. I'm SOE. COVID. During COVID, I nearly got 1,000. Yes, walking outside to put a tray of sweet bread in the car, and my mask down.
Nah.
And I just see the blue and white, and I was like, wait a minute.
It's just the moment.
As I started struggle holding my sweet bread in one hand and putting up the mask with the next one, the officer just watched me and I watch him. And he watching the tray of food in my hand. And I feel like that man see the quality in that sweet bread and I'd love it.
You go and break big man.
Yeah.
Right? Nah, but that's our honestly, I'm supposed to be on a diet. Yeah, supposed to be. I need a pastel or nothing yet, bro.
For this isn't done, Aaron. The 12 days at Christmas I wrap up yesterday.
Okay, cool.
Oh, you balling? You have it like that. You could buy pastel year round.
I never said goodbye pastel. Pleasant good evening going out to my mom. I'm 100% sure she has at least one pastel there. Yeah.
I sit in here and I think entirely I really love you to leave one pastel.
Probably you're not gonna. Yeah. Right, but that is the Christmas season. One last question before we move on from that aspect of today's show. Did you really feel the Christmas spirit?
Aaron, I have not felt the Christmas spirit in decades.
Okay.
Right? Decades. And it's not just I don't know, like what they say is we had what you would call eating Christmas. Right? The food, you have food in the fridge.
Right.
You could rock an apple, you could drink a Malta. Anything you have in the fridge, anything you have in the cupboard, get on it. But for a while, for a long time, I didn't have anything to get up Christmas morning and go another tree to do. And that's alright too. Christmas became about the time you would spend with family and, you know, the little knocking about by different people's house and all kind of thing. And then Christmas became about hoping that you're on work, so you catch that triple time. That's what it has been. So it took me years to readjust to the idea of like being available during the Christmas holidays. So maybe that's one of the reasons I still have some workaholism in me. Workaholicism. Anyway, the bottom line is that even during holidays and stuff, I feel weird when I'm not doing something productive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still working on it, but this Christmas I actually unplug a little bit. It's fairly productive, but I was still able to spend some time with some people. The family, the siblings got together and stuff. See my nieces and nephews and them, and you know, it was cool. It was cool. I would have come down here for the world record, but you never tell me the passcode to open the door now.
Brother man, you didn't need to ask your passcode. From all accounts that I've heard, everybody who wanted to be part of it was here.
Yeah.
In terms of people who didn't know where WACK was, find WACK.
Yeah.
Miss Phillips said she had to close the door and get people out.
Yeah.
And then they set up a TV downstairs in the streets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
but it was nice, man.
yeah, it was right. That was one of the highlights of my holiday.
Yeah, I was tempted to come and be one of them people who just fall in the mix and give my boy Joshua forward, but I know I didn't want to make either him or you cry.
I did cry actually.
I know my partner.
Yeah, when he had that 30 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Even well, what really get me in my feelings was when he went to church the next morning.
Yeah, that.
I say yes, boy.
Now, I did tell him that we need to get him in for an interview. So I just waiting to hear when he I'm waiting for a specific time period to get him in. Yeah.
Alright. I hear you.
No, I'll tell you off air.
Yeah.
For a specific period to get him in.
Yeah, cool.
I want to be.
You probably have something up your sleeve.
No, the hype now is like get Josh, but I want to get when the hype died down.
I remember a sentiment I come up with last year. It's about being able to continue the conversation when the noise died down.
Yeah, I want when it died down, because I have been speaking to him a lot about many different things because we have resumed work. And I told him the other day, hey, I want to get in for an interview, but I want to wait until like everybody else stop talking to you to get in. He's like, right now is the time? I said, no. I was like, Kenny, yeah, you went by Kenny twice. You don't have to come back here right now. I want to get when it died down, and just before the hype bill again, when Guinness officially announces you.
Right.
That is when I want that interview.
Alright, I could agree with that. I guess it's no longer a secret.
Yes.
We talk it in front of everybody.
Yeah. So that something else. Oh, one thing I wanted to say about this Christmas season. And you are correct, Ricardo, because as we get older, we have to appreciate that the season is about the reason for the season, celebrating that reason, as well as the celebration of family. Because, and family doesn't have to be mommy or daddy, yeah? It could be the family that you create.
Right.
Because, let's face it, sometimes family causes more problems than solutions. No, we had to be real about it.
Yeah.
Right? And some persons may think spending time with family will jeopardize their mental health more than bringing peace. So, if that's your situation and you have curated a family of friends and you do, as some people like to call it, friendmas.
Okay. I had not heard that term in a while.
Right? So however you choose to celebrate the season with whoever, right? As I get older, I realize that is what the season is more of than the wide-eyed joy that children experience on Christmas morning of opening 18 presents that they're only going to use one of per month.
Hey, there, man, I have a Christmas gift to get you,
Serious?
Yeah. I'm trying to be thoughtful now. Oh, I remember I decided what it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry yourself.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like I'll try and get in time for the Ethiopian Orthodox.
That wasn't yesterday.
Oh, come on. Man. Well, Merry Christmas to the Ethiopian Orthodox community.
Yeah. But, and I'm glad you talk about passing on a gift, huh? Because
what?
Passing on a gift because one of the things that
that's a gift.
Right, you're passing on a gift, and sometimes the gift is a heirloom, a family heirloom, or the gift of leadership.
I'm saying, you're not doing that.
You see what I did there? I tried to work it in. Because one of the things that took place. So in 2011. Was the last time I took a lengthy vacation, right? And to come home from that.
Better you stop going on vacation.
Exactly.
Better you stop going on vacation. This is all your fault.
Was a SOE. Right? We had curfew and my flight had to get delayed until
every time you leave here, it's back.
Bam now, as soon as I go on, I woke up one morning and all I seen on WhatsApp status is Trinidad and Tobago is under SOE. Trinidad and Tobago is under SOE. I was like, oh gosh, no. And then I calmed myself down and I said, you know what? At the bottom is like a press conference will follow. Then I went to take in a press conference. It's alright, no curfew, extra powers to the police, patrols by the army. Alright, cool, let's see how this going. And before I could ingest properly that we were under SOE, then we got the news of and I don't take this the wrong way, anyone, of the RIP, the retirement in peace. Because Ricardo and I did an episode sometime last year on this, asking certain members of our leadership to retire in peace, and our wish was fulfilled.
We did.
Where the for the first time, I think in our history,
64 years or something like that.
Yeah, that a prime minister retired while in office.
Or 46 or something. Anyway.
So if anybody's listening and could clear that up for us. Yeah. But I think that, because remember, I little young, I remember, as
21.
I said, as in 21.
Forever 21.
But yeah, forever 21. Don't like that stuff at all. I don't think any prime minister ever retired in office like this.
Let's put it this way: they either age out or leave in disrepute.
Right.
So, you know what? I ain't too mad at him. It is absurd, to be honest with you, that people contending for certain positions at that age. I mean, all jokes aside here, at that age, a lot of people would, they don't want to see the grandparents or the aged parents driving if they don't have to.
Yeah.
Just have certain things that. There are certain things that I can understand why a man should get fed up, or a woman should get fed up of that level of responsibility, accountability, scheduling, the pressures to continue to present, tiptoeing around everything that you're saying, because I can't imagine people doing that for 30, 40, 45 years without making some kind of faux. But worse yet too, to be doing that at age when generally people is kind of stop caring what people have to say about things.
Yeah, at the age where your tongue could go loose.
Right. And I cannot imagine. But it's going to be a very interesting season ahead of us. I've seen a lot of people saying that it's going to be a difficult one because misinformation going to be
is rife.
That's nice. You're using some nice words this evening. Yeah, I'm invigorated. I feel enthralled even to hear, the way that they're just rolling off too. Traversing that rife and thing. But it's going to be an interesting season, and we could critique all we want, we could comment all we want. I just want to put a little bit of hope into the atmosphere. I want to put a little bit of, as the people them say, a little positive vibes. Vibrate on a higher frequency kind of thing.
Like what Tony does say.
Yeah, because yes, it's going to be complicated, it's going to be different, it's going to be new. But that also means it could be better.
Right.
Let's try to do the things that would get us to a better place. In some cases, that means making a different decision to the one that you've made traditionally. Other times, it might be holding the course, holding the line, and doing something that other people stop doing.
Right.
But let's try to approach this season with some kind of dignity and some hope.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have some hope. Right, Trinidad is still has the bones of a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we just need to get our act together in some areas, and you'll be amazed at how much smoother this place could be, because it's still beautiful. There's this thing that happened yesterday morning. So I was going into story time, but if you had something to...
because I've been trying to Google here to see if the interim prime minister, if he would be the youngest of... No, I don't know what else to call him. Right? Because he only here for 6 months at first. You don't know if...
Is he, Aaron? Is he? Because I don't know. Are you allowed to do that though?
I don't know.
You're allowed to just have an internal meeting and say, this is the new... I don't
know the constitutional or the democratic process in this moment, right? But what I was checking to see if he would be the youngest person to ever take this office.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Patrick Manick took the office at 55.
What?
Yeah, in 2001 was the first time Patrick Manick took office as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, I seen that just the other day.
Yeah, boy, it was. I had here. So, and it looks like this would be the youngest Prime Minister of our country, which may be, youngest interim Prime Minister, right? But it may be that glimmer of hope for the younger generation, because remember, the young persons always say, these old people, sad to say it like that, but these old people mean what them the thing that them going to leave me from the rocking chair and thing. But this is the first time that we have someone reasonably young, given the general age group of politicians in our country. So there is hope, but that hope is being clouded with some obscurity of how this person was put in this position.
Yeah.
Right?
It is a little curious and possibly even concerning.
Or precarious.
What you know, man?
I've been reading.
There is an air of trepidation. But I was in a maxi yesterday morning, and sitting next to me was a passenger, and she was conversing with a gentleman who was sitting in the seat behind us.
Right.
And he had two little kids with him. Two little children. Chan. I got before that the other day. Two children.
Two kids.
And they were speaking about doubles vendors. They wanted to look out because he was trying to find doubles before he got to his stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I, being
the doubles connoisseur that you are,
I was going to say observant, I interjected and I asked, I said, doubles you're looking for? He said, yeah. And I pointed out the various spots with which one might purchase some doubles. We looked, the back bus driver slowing down and thing, and we checking, we peeping, everybody lock up, everybody close up. Mm-hmm. So, but like, nobody come out this morning, right? And so I tell them about this last vendor that might be available. And I took on a full max here. Mm-hmm. Okay, you'd had room for like 2, so let me say 10 people. And when we realized that the doubles vendor was there, the doubles vendor, the Maximan drove across the switch lanes, right, and pull up. And when people were starting to move for the gentleman to come out, he was like, nah, go wait. And we just placed the doubles order through the window. Doubles vendor made the doubles, gave it to the gentleman, call out what they need to make change for, etc. Here and I didn't hear a single stoops or heavy sigh or not a complaint. The entire maxi was either okay with this inconvenience or at least they read the room and didn't heavy it. And I'm sitting in this maxi, 9:30 in the morning, first day of school, thinking what I come out my house for. And I had an encounter with a reminder of how warm and how accommodating we can be as a people. It just felt good to be in that space where it became a collective effort for us to get this man 2 doubles with sweet sauce for his 2 little children before he had to either stop and travel again or go home without it.
Okay.
No heaviness, no heavy vibes, no, I done late for work already, oh gosh, I done stopping so much. Nothing. And just the absence of the heaviness, like here and I feel like, wait now, this place could be real nice for you.
You know, some people like to say that social media is an overall reflection of society. But I don't agree with that, because what we've experienced in reality as opposed to what we see in the comment section is 2 different realities. Instances like what you have just described to us, Ricardo, are very common. But because of the overall negative tone that we push on social media, instances like that don't get highlighted. So if you don't go out and experience life, and experience our culture, experience the interactions of our people, you would think that everybody interacts like how we do in our comment section.
That we're on full 36.
But I have seen and I have experienced lots of love from strangers. I remember, this is a serious thing.
I just saying old card would have made a very inappropriate wisecrack about that. We're lucky I'm mature now.
On Christmas, Adam, when I was putting out garbage. Yeah. My neighbor was putting out garbage as well. And she watched me, she's like, you good there? I say, yeah. I say, what's some sorrel? And don't do it.
She said,
no, she did not say eh. No, she didn't say eh.
All right.
But I was like, you want some sorrel? And she was like, yes, thank you. And when I brought her the bottle of sorrel for her, she returned a piece of sweet bread.
Wow. I twice we talk about sweet bread for the evening.
Yeah, so we had to get sweet bread somewhere, right? But what I'm saying is, there are persons that do those acts of random kindness. There are persons who will see an elderly person crossing the road and stop and come out and help that person cross. There are persons who will see a family in distress and go and buy a hamper and carry it for them.
Yeah.
But those things never get highlighted. And I'm not saying that you're doing it for the highlighter, but you don't see people saying, hey, it have love out here now. You will see people highlighting how many people get killed.
Right.
But you won't see people talking about the different community groups that would have went around at the back of a 1-ton truck and give out gifts to children.
Right.
I remember I went Lengua a night. Boy, oh boy, I think I get lost like 15 times.
Yeah, don't really back there.
But I get lost. And when I was traversing through Lengua, I saw a community of people, a family of people. They were in a garage wrapping gifts to give out the next day.
Right.
And then when I was home that day, I think I was doing laundry or something, I heard a truck in my area this is the voice of So by So and whatever business name, and we are here to give gifts to the children.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there like, hey, these are the things that happen. These are the good things that happen, but we don't hear about it. They're not shared 10,000 times.
You're right. We do have an appetite. Not that we do have an appetite for that. It's harder to. When you put something like that out there, you share this good news.
Yeah.
You're going to get trolls. It's looking staged. You're doing it for clout. I almost had to apologize for sharing stuff that we've done with Joshua. Like, because there are so many people who jump in on the bandwagon, right? I was calling the 31st of December.
So I said that.
Of December.
Yeah.
Right? But we interviewed Joshua during. In fact, I'm gonna make it a little weird. We interviewed Joshua at a point in time when his reputation was a lot less
reputable.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was at
Right? And when his efforts were misunderstood.
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
That
He was very, very young in his ambition to do what it is he's doing now. And we have that. We were there saying,
keep your head up, B.
Right? We had him last year, or was that the year before, in the living room, right? Where he sat and he had an honest conversation about the challenges that he has with the limelight. And what I mean is there's a person behind the accomplishment.
Yeah.
And imagine me being able to, instead of just being able to share the experiences I've had in terms of encouraging this young man, or at least not discouraging him. And again too, I also know that he would have benefited vicariously through some of our interactions. And I almost had to hedge my commentary because I know somebody going to say, oh, watch how people as people bandwagonists and now everybody wants to everybody's and I laughing and I'm trying to not be bitter about it because I'm thinking, you're right, Aaron. There were people who did not know that WACK was a radio station or they would have paid it no mind whatsoever.
You know what? As you say that,
I was trying to let people enjoy things.
I watched some of the artists that came here and some of the announcers that came here, and in the back of my mind, and I have no qualms to say this. Some of the people that I saw came here for that were persons that I would have tried to get interviews with for this program.
Yeah.
Or when I was on a Friday night. And to see them come down here in my mind is like, oh, so South wasn't really far.
Right. The light wasn't bright enough.
Right. And I'm not discrediting anyone who came. But what I'm saying is, because of how social media has made life now, all persons care about is the glitz and the glamour. When we came in here, and Tony was wrapping up his program.
Yeah.
He was talking about the fact that he know that this is dog and that is dog. He about preaching love.
Yeah.
And for 2025, I could proudly say that love is something that carries you through. It could be love again from a friend, from your mother, your father, your brother, your wife, whoever it may be. But love is something that carries you through tough times, through grief. The love and support of friends and family members is what is carrying you through. You know what it is to go try to bank alone?
Yeah. And nobody should have to.
No, exactly.
But I want to chuck a pin in that bubble one time there.
Godfather.
Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that people navigate things in different ways. But some of us have become experts at alienating the people who care about us. Woo. What I'm saying is you don't get to complain about how many people abandon you or how everybody going against and those types of things. You don't get to do that when you cause it. You don't get to. I've seen people who say they have nobody, and then when you do anything that don't line up perfectly with whatever toxicity that they're so bathed in, that the start to turn and go on. They going against now. At the end of the day, I ain't looking at everything. I ain't looking at heavy thing any heavier than it been heavy. What I'm saying is the year now start. Take a good hard look at yourself and find out if the way that you're dealing with people is one of the reasons you don't have the type of support that you might have otherwise.
If you don't, I watched I've been watching a lot of podcasts and different motivational talks and stuff from different persons. And if it's something that you are not trying to build, how can you expect to have it?
Right.
That was a quote from Kyle Hernandez on Monday morning with Kivo. Right? If you're not trying to build it, how you expect to have it? If you are not cultivating an environment of love and support, how do you expect to get it?
Right.
I, as always say, that love is the currency. Spend some today. For those of you that listen, you'll know I end every week with that.
That's right.
Right? And one thing I have realized since the start of 2023, particularly to today, is that if you put love out there, love will come back to you. If you put negativity out there, negativity will come back to you. Whatever you are trying to build is what will foster.
I mean, you could put positivity out there, negativity come back anyway. Right?
Yeah, true, very true.
You know, and some people put negativity out there and they'll get some positive for a while, but not sustainable. But you're right, plenty of us, we just sleeping in the beds that we make. And I'm not saying that things don't happen to people. Right? What I'm saying is that a lot of the cycles that we are stuck in, a lot of the ruts that we have dug ourselves into, is plenty of times we slap away the hands that trying to help us out. So this year is one of those years where you take a deep look at yourself.
I'm trying to
and grow up a little bit.
I'm trying to remain neutral in this, but it's taken me to see that a lot of us are afraid to look at ourselves, as you are saying. And one of the things I have realized is that if you want to take a look at yourself, you need to sit in silence. And a lot of us are afraid to sit in silence.
Boy.
Right? One of the most refreshing moments before I was able to enjoy my vacation, I had a 6-hour flight.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know people that sleep comfortably on a plane. So I decided to take that 6 hours to do some introspection.
Yeah.
Of the last year, the last couple of years. And one of the things that came up was the fact that I don't say no enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. DJ Aaron 868.
Right? That I don't say no enough.
Yeah.
That I try to spread myself thin like butter for everyone. And it was at that moment I realized I can't do that and expect to give myself properly to the things that I want.
Right.
So if I'm trying to build a relationship, if I'm trying to build a career in different avenues, on all 3 different avenues, how can I still spread myself thin like butter and be productive in those 4 things? And still eat healthy and exercise and maintain friendships? You have to learn when, that was for me, everybody would be different. You have to learn when to say no.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment of introspection at 35,000 feet that I realized, hey, I need to do better in terms of taking care of myself. I take care of everybody around me, but I still had to take care of myself because, as Ricardo constantly echoes to me, you can't pour from an empty cup.
And the reason I echo it is because other people keep telling me.
Right?
I just say.
So that was one of my toughest lessons to learn. But it took me to look at myself and analyze, wait boy, you're doing so much for everybody else. what are you doing for yourself, right? Now, on the flip side of it, that introspection also led me to certain habits that I have that I need to stop.
Fair.
And one of the things is, we always talk about your diet, and it's what you consume holistically, right? But you see your eating diet, right? Well, try and cut out all the sweets now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real serious thing.
I had to learn to pick my poisons. Let me put it this way. If I want to drink 2.5 and 3 cups of coffee a day, I can't be putting sugar in every cup and then still eating things that have sugar.
Yeah, all them kiss cake and things you want to eat.
Yeah, that's it. I ain't gonna lie. Them chocolate covered brownies, they used to get me.
Yeah, it was a good kiss cake, man.
Yeah, well, but I can't like my little knuckle and pinole and them kind of thing, and can't be jamming them every day though. That's not maths. I can't. The bread man used to slow down.
Yeah, just to see
if I coming out. Right?
Nah, and
you had to mitigate.
And also, I know this is the season for a lot of consumption and inebriation. But even that and all, I would never tell people don't drink, because that's not my position to tell anybody that. But what I would always say is, even if you're consuming alcohol, hydrate.
Right.
And not hydrate with more alcohol. Hydrate with water. Right?
Yeah, I don't miss it, you know.
You know, like usually for me, Christmas time is a time where I would knock a glass with every and anybody. It was very limited this year.
Yeah, I might have had some punch crème, but again, right to Paranga house that had none. And then the bottle that I would have normally gotten, I didn't get this year. So
punch crème is life though.
Yeah, I know, but I ultimately I don't miss.
Honestly,
alcohol.
I'm actually appreciating doing it less, drinking less.
Yeah. I really like being able to get up dinner. I go and check a brethren, man flying from Japan. I went and checked the man and his 3-4 cup of club soda. He sit down and drink while men beating the scotch. And I didn't miss it.
Oh, so you was wasting the chaser.
But I like to tell you, I pee whole night.
Now, I one thing, right here now, one of the things I would always, that I've realized is, I drink a lot more water now, right? So I'm drinking 2 to 3 liters of water a day.
Yeah.
Here now, people say, yeah, drink water, it's good for you. But you see the downside of it is they having to use the bathroom more frequently.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, just had to rock some cranberry juice in that mix too.
I'm trying, like, honestly, because I'm trying the diet aspect of things, I'm trying to eat my calories.
Yeah.
As opposed to drink them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice one. I hear you. But yeah, this year, I wanna be more positive. You know, because I was thinking, look how much people giving WACK forward now, and I'm thinking, on what's wrong with that? You know, what's wrong with that? You invite people before and they didn't show up, and they show up now.
Yeah.
Okay, they're here now. You know, what are you gonna get them? What are you gonna see? You're gonna get your attitude?
No, I happy.
Right? When we on WACK every week, either in flesh or in spirit, and there are people who don't know that 90.1 is the station that, well, Cardo always doing something. Or yeah, Cardo have a thing going on. Hey, you're still on the thing? And they're tuning into WACK, and there are people offering suggestions and all these types of things. And I'm like, well, isn't that sweet?
You know what honestly struck me? The amount of persons who were messaging me, "Oi, this thing going on and you not there." And I like, what do you mean? Ain't you always on WACK? But I never knew you used to listen to WACK though.
Yeah.
And I always say, sometimes it takes a moment of a miraculous moment for persons to notice what has always been there. And
a moment of illumination.
This world record was a moment of illumination for WACK. And I hope all the now comes the newbies stay on with us. I hope all you newbies tune into all the different cultural shows which we will be broadcasting throughout the season. I hope the new ones in the US are able to purchase our pay-per-view tickets and take in the pan. Because there's a lot of pan.
Or a tent or something.
Or a tent, whatever it may be. Support WACK how you can. Right? If you go out, if you happen to be going to a pan show and you see Kenny there, Kenny and the crew, you just drink water.
Yeah.
All that is how you could support.
A word of encouragement as well.
A word of encouragement. Hey, well, you're doing a good job. Right? If you see, and this is where we look time to talk. I just see Mr. Desmond walk past the door.
Right.
Hey, hi to newbie Lene. She's just.
Hey. Good night, newbie.
Right. But if you see us somewhere, we don't bite. We don't bite.
I don't bite again.
Yeah, I still bite it long time.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is, as we start our year of 2025, we ask that you be more intentional. As a human being, be more intentional. Show more care for your fellow man. And as we always start our show when we have guests, we don't ask where's the scene or where's the word. We ask you, how are you? And I think that is something we should ask more of in 2025. And ask from a place of genuinity as opposed to the Trinidadian term of a place of macoing.
Right.
We'll check in on your brother, because as I heard one of the calypsos on the first, mental health is real. It's not a joke. Check in on a friend.
Right.
Because you don't know what somebody is going through. Ricardo, anything else before we close off there?
I just want to say that Joshua Rebello inspired a moment of warmth and unity and hope and patriotism in this country that we had not seen in a very, very long time. It was a high point for the year. And then we wake up to some contrary news. What I'm saying is that you can still choose to focus on the high points. I'm not saying ignore realities. What I'm saying is that you don't have to let them dictate your temperament. You don't have to let them decide your mood for the day.
Dictate your joy.
Right? So, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good, stay safe, and stay hopeful.
And this is yours truly here on 868. I remind each and every time that culture is my code. I also tell you that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know you love them, guys. In a moment of hope, there's an artist who has a very popular calypso for 2025. For those of you who don't know this artist, he used to sing Trini dancehall back when dancehall now started. And he decided to make a switch because he wanted to present a better image and message for his children. To be a better man for his children. A better father figure, for his children to see. And he has a calypso, which a lot of persons are saying should be in Skinner Park.
Yeah.
Come the 23rd, I think it's the 23rd of February. Right? So, all there, if you want to go in the park, tickets are on sale. If you can't go in the park, buy a pay-per-view on WACK. Or watch on TV if you're in Trinidad and Tobago.
Word.
Right? But request the Kaiso, listen to the Kaiso. This is Squeezy Rankin. This one, and here now. What made me realize it was a big...
Play this song now.
No, but I had to say this.
Alright,
what made me realize this was a big tune was Tyrell send this song for me and tell me this man deserves to be in Skinner Park.
Right.
And Tyrell is go Fiesta 7 o'clock in the night. When the sun go down, and it's just before the after party.
Right.
So for him to say it's a big Kaiso, I mean, it's a big Kaiso.